Welcome to the Tissue Box Podcast. I'm your host, Pam Jordan. In this episode of the Tissue Box Podcast, as we welcome you here today, we sit down with Darren Hanna, founder of Hann Mentorship and Solutions, LLC. It's a transformative coaching and mentorship program designed to empower youth ages 7 to 18. Darren shares his inspiring backstory, revealing the personal experiences that led him to dedicate his life to coaching, mentoring, and motivating young people. It's a beautiful thing. We dive into the challenges today's youth face, the power of resilience, and the impact of mentorship in shaping brighter futures. From his journey at the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, or iPEC, to real-life success stories, Darren offers valuable insights on what it takes to inspire and uplift the next generation. Plus, he gives us a glimpse into the future of Hann Mentorship and Solutions and the incredible work still to come. Tune in for this powerful and heartfelt conversation about purpose, leadership, and the lasting impact of mentorship. Welcome, Mr. Hanna.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm great. And yourself?
I am doing well. I want you to know, first of all, how happy and excited we are to have you here at the Tissue Box Podcast, because we're here to uplift and motivate. And that's exactly what you do for our community. So talk a little bit about your background.
Well, once again, my name is Darren Hanna. I'm the founder of Hann Mentorships and Solutions. It came to life with the desire to help young people, knowing that they have gifts inside of them that a lot of them are just walking around with, not knowing it's there. Yeah, I had mentors during my life that saw me in dark moments and stepped in, and they coached me, they mentored me, and they motivated me. And that passion, that desire to give back, that's what really got me to where I'm at now.
So do you feel, are most of the youth that you're working with throughout this program, do you feel that are they pretty receptive in being mentored? How do they take it when you approach them and say, well, these are the type of things that you should be focusing on. These are the type of things that you should be doing. Are they receptive of that?
Yes, they are, but I don't approach them like that.
Okay.
My thing is just building that quick rapport with kids. Hey, man, you look good. You're short, man. What you doing? I mean, you got nice sneakers, man. I need those after the game. It can be like a 7, 8-year-old. We got a little small feet. Like, man, tell your mom, after the game, I'm getting those sneakers. If I can make them laugh and connect with them, then I have opportunity to step in and say something else like, if you need someone to talk to, reach out to me. What's going on? Just meeting a young person where he is or where she is, and listening. And don't be judgmental.
That's important.
Just listen.
Yeah.
And once a young person know that you care about them, man, they open up like a book.
Right.
So
your age group, 7 to 18, does males and females, boys and girls?
Mostly males, but we do reach out to females also.
Okay.
And I say 7 to 18, we target that age group, but they're 25, 30-year-old men. If they need to talk, and a lot of them do, just need to get things off their chest, I'm there.
Well, how do you okay, so here's my question, because like you said, they're older adults, males that have been through some things and they really need to talk and they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to express themselves. So obviously there would be a different approach versus a youth, a young person, like you said, kicking it with their shoes and talking about that. Right. How would you do that with an adult? How do you gain that rapport with an adult to be able to have them to open up and talk to you?
Let's say, for instance, if we're, say, at a gas station or anywhere, and I just bring up a conversation, and we spoke earlier about cars.
Yeah.
Most male love fast cars.
Yeah.
And if I see him driving whatever, could be a Camaro, Mustang, man, that's a good looking car right there. And then we'll take it from there. We talk about cars, and I might bring up relationship. You're married. What's going on? Just asking questions, and pretty much if a person see that you real cool and you understand them and they feel spirit to spirit. That's one thing I believe I have the grace for young people. I feel I'm anointed to talk to young people.
Okay.
So with those two things, when I reach a person that may need someone to talk to spirit, your spirit gonna greet with my spirit.
Oh, yeah.
And spirit wise, maybe I should ask them about some things. And once you build that rapport, I can bring it up. Man, when I was your age, I used to do this and that and the third, man. But I made some mistakes, man. I broke some hearts. I misled people. When I say people, I'm talking about young ladies. And
Yep, I
put them in situations that they shouldn't have been in. My intentions wasn't right. I was totally wrong. I got kids here. I got kids there. I don't want to see you make those mistakes because we really tearing our young people down. They came in the world. They have every right to have a loving mom and dad. If you don't see her as a mother, don't see her as anything else. Keep it moving, man. I didn't make that choice, but I'm not going to sit and watch other young men make the same mistake.
So when you were going through that, let's talk about you when you were going through some things when you were at that young age. I'm assuming you were pretty maybe rebellious, right? Didn't want to listen. You had the hard head. You wanted to go your own route. But then you said there were people in your lives, in your life, that mentored you. And when those folks came into your life to try to talk to you, because they could see where it was that you were going, were you receptive at that time? Were you listening, or were you still in that defiant mode, like, I'm gonna do what I want to do? I'm grown. I'm gonna make my own decisions. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do.
Right.
You know the dance. That's how we do.
Well, I was until I hit that wall, so to speak. And that wall when relationships broke down or I got in situations that I didn't know what to do. A lot of times when we're in that resilient mode, like you said, you won't hear nothing.
Right.
Man, I'm grown, you old, that happened to you.
You can't tell me nothing.
Give it time. And then once you hit that wall, then you'll be able to listen to wise counsel. So, I was there.
What was your wall, though? What was that wall that made you wake up and say, wait a minute, what am I doing here?
Wow.
Was there a pivotal moment that you said to yourself, I got to change some things. I can't continue on like this?
Relationships, didn't know how to handle relationships. When I say relationships, I'm talking about the opposite sex. Trying to dominate the situation, thinking that, I had all the answers, I was right. And other areas are getting in trouble. I had people say, you hang with this person, this is going to happen. And then, that happened to you, ain't happened to me. Got in trouble, and then that break wall, boom. Now I'm looking for these wise people.
Right.
Now, can you help me out? I didn't see it, but I feel it. I feel what you were talking about. And if I would have listened, I wouldn't have to feel this pain.
Wow.
So there's those type of people that were there. That didn't turn their back and say, well, I told you so. I told you. No, I told you so. They were receptive enough and understanding. Say, I knew it was going to happen.
Wow.
But you didn't know. You had to learn that for yourself.
You have to learn it for yourself. So would you say that that's what inspired you to take on this mentorship and coaching that you're doing right now? That led to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about how long have you been mentoring then?
Wow, I've been mentoring over 20 years now.
So are you into like communities? You go into schools, or how do people get into your program? How do the youth get into your program? Is it connected with the school district or system, or do they have to voluntarily go through your program, your mentorship program?
Well, mine's a little different, and thinking. I call it uniqueness. I don't have a program where kids can come to a building and just hang out or listen to me talk one-on-one. Hann mentorships and solutions came to light because of that. I want to get into the school systems.
Okay.
There's a lot of people out there saying a lot of great things, but I wanted to take it further than that. I want to get in your school system. I want to get in the Department of Juvenile Justice. I want to get in different groups and organizations. I feel like I have a lot to say to kids, but just saying that I'm a mentor. I didn't have my paperwork. That's why I went to school, class, to iPEC. Now I got something. I got some credentials to show you.
Yeah.
I am a life coach. I have skills techniques that I've learned that I feel like can help the kids. So that was my motivating factor with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to continue. Where are you now with that? Are you close to getting into the school systems and the juvenile justice system and trying to work with those individuals? It's a process, I'm sure, but
Yes, I'm a whole lot closer now. I meet so many great people, school teachers, ADs, coaches. Matter of fact, just last week, spoke with the principal. So yeah, we definitely bring people from the outside in. I've spoken with, I know, a dozen or more school principals. Say, we would love to have you here to come in, like the young people say, chop it up with the young people. You know, I'm going in and chopping it up with them.
Yeah.
Department of Juvenile Justice, I met a couple of directors, and hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to get in there and talk with them also. So yes, I'm definitely on that path.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Hopefully at my job, hopefully a couple more years I'm gonna be there. And then my goals is to expand Hann to actually get a physical building.
Yeah.
But now I'm just out talking. I'm out talking to
So you
people.
do like speaking engagements and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you share like a success story then of someone that you've actually coached and mentored and been a witness to them changing their lives or turning their situation around?
Yes, young man, call him Michael. He was having some issues, and mom came to me and said, he's doing this in school, he won't listen, this and that and the third. Spoke with Michael, I think he was like 9th or 10th grade then. And just sharing what I see inside of him.
So how did you get to meet him first?
Through his mom.
Okay, so you guys had an appointment together and you sat down and So how was his attitude when he first met you?
Nonchalant.
Okay.
Like, I heard this before, she's done this several times, He didn't physically say it, but this is what
the body
I mean,
language
here we go again type of attitude. But is building that rapport. We didn't talk about school. And pretty much we never talked about school unless he wanted to talk about it. I wanted to know what he wanted out of life. What was his plans, his goal, what excites him. And once he told me those things, those are things we talked about. Then I would ask, the things that you're doing in school, are those things gonna get you to what you just said? No, sir. So now we
Now we going somewhere.
okay. If those things are not gonna get you to where you just said you want it to be, either you're gonna get rid of those things or you're not gonna get where you want to be. Which one mean the most?
It's just that simple.
Just that simple. Make a long story short, he has a job in school, has a job, doing great.
Good.
Yeah, doing great.
That's awesome. So when you're talking to these youth, obviously you get this sensation, or do you get this sensation where you get a flashback to where you were? And maybe see yourself through the person that you're actually speaking with at the time. Like, that's who I was. Do you ever get that kind of feeling where you say, I was right there where he is or she is? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Tissue Box Podcast, proudly sponsored by Practical Purpose Solutions in Florence, South Carolina. If you would like to become a sponsor of the Tissue Box Podcast, see information below.
I do a lot. And maybe that's the passion I have.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell that thing, and that thing is what kept me out there so long. And I say out there doing the wrong things or not doing the things I was supposed to be doing. I allow that thing to rob me of this decade, that decade, and another day. I won't allow that thing to steal it from them. You know, I started late in the game, but I won't allow that to happen. I officiate football, high school football, basketball, do a little softball, baseball, not as much as football and basketball. I will not allow them to go through the years of making bad choices and decisions. That's why I love to talk about the gifts. Like, you know, you got a gift inside you. I don't know that gift. Creator, he can tell you about a gift. I can tell you a purpose. All of our purpose is to serve humanity. That's our purpose.
And we know that a lot of youth struggle with that, you know, through different circumstances, the background, how they grew up, you know, maybe single parent households, maybe just dealing with life and going through things that young people shouldn't even be going through. Because like you said earlier, every child deserves a two-parent household, a two-parent commitment to the upbringing of this child and making sure that they're well-centered and stuff like that. But that doesn't always happen.
Right.
And so we know when incidences like that happens that young folks, they struggle with finding themselves, finding purpose, and being confident. So what would you tell someone like that, or what do you tell your students that are going through that are maybe struggling with finding their confidence? Or because sometimes it's confidence that, you know, has them with the wrong crowd, or lack of confidence, you know, and not being real sure of themselves. And so we want to put that back into them. And if it's so far gone, they're just lost. How do you get that back? Because it's so important that we save these young people. And half the time they don't even realize what it is that they're doing and how much damage they're doing to themselves. So how do you inspire? How do you find, and what, have you ever been so frustrated with one when you see the potential and they're being real resistant and not getting it? How do you deal with that frustration?
First of all, I go back and first, I'm not a religious person. I'm not into the Christianity, religious type of things, but I do believe in God the Father, the Creator. I believe in God the Son. I believe in God the Holy Spirit. And back in those days, even before man was formed, if you go to Genesis 1 and 26, he said,
Okay.
he said, let us make a form man in our likeness and in our image and in our likeness. So I would tell the young people, you're formed in the image. Image is the visual representation of a thing. So when I look at you, I look at man, I should see God. Then if you go a little further, he said, after our likeness. Likeness is the characteristics of a thing. It's the characteristics of God in his very nature. That there should let you know that no matter what society says, or your circumstances, or your environment, you're awesome.
And you're worthy.
You're worthy everything. A good life ain't for some people. Doesn't matter. And you mentioned about 1 or 2 family homes. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And another thing I let young people know, when your mom and dad got together, there are like 300 million, 400 million possibilities of other people. And then just to give you a visual mindset of things in your mind's eyes, I think there's like 350 million people in America. So the creator picked out of those many people, he chose you. So you came in the world, you came to earth as a winner. So no matter what you may be thinking, you're wrong. And me, I tell them that. We have to keep telling them that. You got to keep telling them. Hopefully, mom, dad, the community. That's why the community, it takes a community, a village to raise kids. We got to keep affirming and reaffirming them how great. You're great. You're great. No matter what you're doing, you're great. You're great. I don't have to see your greatness. I know greatness is inside of you. And if you keep reaffirming that, at some point in time, the creator gonna stand up. And he does the work. I can't do nothing but open my mouth and talk.
Yeah.
But if I speak what the creator says, at some point in time, he's gonna stand up.
Right. But they have to want that, and they have to believe that as well. Right?
That's true. You got to believe it for them until they can kind of. You younger than me, and I was young way back then. We had like a pump. You ask your mom, grandparents, and you had to put water in to prime it up. You get a little bit of water, and you pour that water in that pump and prime it up. That's what we have to do with kids.
Yeah.
They don't have to believe it. We got to believe it for them. You got to keep priming
That's important,
until they
yeah.
get hold to it.
Yeah.
And say, hold up. It's inside of them. It's going to catch fire. You got to keep saying it. Hopefully the teachers will say, hopefully the coaches, hopefully the pastors.
And it's interesting that you say that, because I think a very important part of it is the adults around these youth. And and just like you said, we have to keep pumping it into them that they're great, but a lot of us give up. When we see that the child is, we say, you know what, I'm just done with him or her. There's just no good in them. They just don't want to do right. I'm not even going to waste my time. So where does that leave them?
With that person, it may be over.
Yeah.
But with that person, if God uses people like me, you, and others to step in.
Yeah.
Just because someone gives up on a child may end up in DJJ, jailhouse, penitentiary. Gotta have somebody somewhere. There's always a ram in the bush. That person could be going out to do whatever, do something wrong, but it could be somebody that'll say a word. That's why I love when I talk to anybody, especially my young kids. Man, you look sharp. Man, I like that. I like the cut. Any little thing to make them feel good.
Right.
I had a game once. Had some issues at the table, at scores table, and took a few minutes to resolve that issue. And talking with the kid, like, how's school, and what you gonna do after school, and other little things that young people do. And when it was time to put the ball back in play, you know what he told me?
What did he tell you?
He said, "Thanks for talking to me." I was like, God, look at you. Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
And you know what? That maybe nobody even asked him that question before.
Thanks for talking to me.
Wow.
How many more out there waiting for somebody to talk to them?
Waiting for somebody.
I heard Jesus said once, he said when he was out there in the streets, they were waiting for someone to come save them. How many of our kids walking around waiting? I'm like, God, here I am. I'm not talented. I'm not all that great stuff.
Oh, stop. Yes, you are.
I'm not the greatest speaker. I'm not one to have all this here educational skills and talent, but I want to be used. And if you can God can pick anybody from anywhere and shake them all. Here I am.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. I go talk to anyone. I feel I can connect with anybody. It doesn't matter. Because I'm going to meet them where they're at.
And I believe that's your gift.
I believe so too.
That's your gift.
I'm excited about it.
And that's your purpose. That's what
I'm excited about
you are here to do.
Oh, yeah.
Change lives.
I'm excited about it.
Not only youth, but adults as well.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Establishing that rapport, like you said, and not judging, just open conversation. And everybody wants to be heard.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, that's bottom line, period. And usually when youth are being rebellious, they're going through some things, they just want to be heard. They want somebody to understand them. They want somebody to hear them
Absolutely.
and know that what they're going through matters
Oh, yeah.
to somebody. And just like that kid at the basketball game, when you struck up a
Right.
conversation with him, that probably changed his life. It had to, for him to even come
Yeah,
back and say
yeah,
thank
yeah.
you for talking to me.
Thanks for talking to me. Like, wow.
And so when stuff like that happens, when you get those kind of responses, you feel to yourself, Lord, I'm doing exactly what it is that you set out for me to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a sense of fulfillment, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And knowing that you're doing the right thing and you're thinking, thank you, Lord. Now, that's my confirmation. I'm
That's
doing the
it.
right thing and I'm going forward with this mentorship and coaching
Absolutely.
thing. And it's going to get big.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to get big.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well,
I'm
you should
excited.
be. So what do you do in your spare time
Ah, wow. Do I
when you're not
have this?
mentoring? And
Well, working with Newcore Steel for over 30 years now. Like I mentioned, high school sports for 15 years now. And, my hobbies would be drag racing, going to the drag strip, just like young people say, chopping it up. I'll
life in the fast lane.
Yeah, I'll strike up a conversation with anybody.
Yeah.
Just just to talk with them. And there have been people that can take me from A to B, just striking up a conversation.
Yeah.
They're like, man, I do the same thing. Would you come and talk or let's connect? Like, man, wow. I spoke with once this season, gentleman. Student, I don't know, I didn't know what his title was. Just talking with him and I said, sir, are you the principal? Yes, I am. And I started just striking up a conversation. And he's like, yeah, we'd love to have you here. We got several different sport programs you can come and talk with. Football, basketball. Just striking up that conversation. What if
Yeah.
I would have never said anything?
I know. Yeah. That's big.
Oh, yeah.
Well, your
Awesome.
voice is one to be heard, so you're doing the right thing.
Oh, yeah, love it.
So what's been some of your biggest challenges going through this mentorship thing? Have you faced any great challenges that you can talk about?
I would say when we talk about the kids first, I would say them not believing in themselves or knowing who they are.
Well, yeah, I guess that can be a little frustrating for a mentor because you're trying to get through to them, and you know what's on the other side.
Right.
You know what this path is going to lead to, and you're trying to steer them away from that. So I can imagine it would be pretty much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But from the adult side of it or the parent side, a lot of times moms don't know me like that. I mean, and I understand. You say you're a mentor, I see you on social media, but I don't know you like that. And it takes a while, I guess, and I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be consistent. Consistency wins. So when a person continues, this fella been talking about this for a long time. He hadn't changed
Right.
what he's saying. Getting the moms to understand that, I'm here. We can partner. I would love to partner with any parent. When it comes to schools, and when I mentioned DJJ, and it's a process.
Right. But consistency is the key.
Hey, here I am. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
What I said last year, I'm saying the same thing.
Okay, so do you have any events coming up in the future that you would like folks to know about, what you've got going on?
Sure, I have. Here in Florence at Nubian Brothers Barbershop.
Okay.
We have what I call barbershop talks, where we get young men and older men also. We try to empower them through building wealth, through credit, through insurance, and through home ownership.
That is awesome.
And on the 29th of March also, it's going to be in Lake City. It's going to be at the Boys and Girls Club. And we basically going to have more of a family involvement where mom's gonna come in, dads. It's gonna be more of a family event.
Okay.
Doing the same thing, building, empowering. And I love it. I mean, it's starting small, but we getting ready to blow up. I say this, I feel like a man smoking at a gas station. I'm about to blow up. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, we expect great things from you,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Hanna, because you're doing great things.
Thank you much.
And I believe that you will continue to do that. So thank you for all that you do for the community and our youth.
You're welcome.
Job well done. Continue.
I will. Thank you much. Thank you much.
Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you for watching this episode of the Tissue Box Podcast. We are so happy that you've joined us today, and we hope that you've learned something from this episode. And if you would please like, subscribe, and comment below. And until next time.